Well, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday with your favorite techie geeks. Ken Close here from the US Healy membership pool. I'm an engineer and lover of Healy. I'm accompanied by my awesome co-host, Jake Barron, head of operations for the Americas. Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Hello, Ken. Hello, everyone.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And who is our customer service
Yeah,
person?
but Christian will be on the call. He's having a little bit of a technical difficulty here, but he'll be here in just a couple minutes.
All right. Well, so we got Christian coming as our lightning finger escort in the background from the customer service tech support, which I love having that. So welcome, by the way, guys, to Tech Tip Tuesday. If you haven't been here before, well, you're in for a treat because this is where all things Healy techie gets handled, right? This is a chat-based forum. So the way it works is that you put your questions in the chat. Myself, Jake, Christian in the background, we will unpack these things live on the call, as well as certain things will be added in the chat so you guys can take a look. What we can't do is we can't talk about anything relative to diseases, diagnosis, medical conditions, to treat or diagnose anything in that regard. But everything else, techie, is pretty much open. We do have resources, by the way, folks. If you're not familiar with what you can do in terms of finding things for specific conditions, we can point you in the right direction. But other than that, things are pretty much open. So when you guys are ready, start lighting up that chat. For sure, invite your friends. If you've been here before, you know what we do. Tell everybody to join us right away. So let's get this party started. Jake, what do you think?
That sounds great. What we're here for.
Yay. All right. Okay, so Dory's already got a question for us, and I like these ones here about the curiosity about straps and stuff. So if you loosen the straps and move them, do you lose connection? Do you need to start the program over? So that's referring to the wristbands, the straps that you put around your wrists. The wristbands are conductive material, and they are the entire inside length of the main portion. This main portion, not the part that's got Velcro, but this main portion is all conductive. Okay, the backside, the smooth black side, it's all conductive. So when you have it wrapped around your wrist, or even depends on the diameter of your arm, if you have it up on your arm, it is getting contact with the body. Now, if it's too loose, it's moving around, then you could lose contact. The cool thing is the app actually tells you if you are connected or if you're not. So when you're running, and this is all relative to the Healy 2 app or the Pink app, when you're running one of those programs, the microcurrent programs, if you got proper connection between the left and the right wristband and the leads, the wires, the whole works, then there's going to be a natural flow, and you'll see a waveform across the screen of your app. If you don't get connection, or some reason you've lost connection, it's going to have a little message on your screen, and it's kind of small, I know, folks, but it says a frequency is generated, but no measurable current flow. So in other words, it's asking you to please make some adjustments to see if you got current flow. So Dory, to your question, if you move things around, you could get temporarily get that message. Doesn't mean that you have to start the program over. It just means in that moment, you're losing connection. Okay. Now remember, every 10 seconds, the frequency will shift and change. And so you might have lost that 10 seconds, but you haven't lost the benefit of the overall program in general. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still doing okay. Just get it corrected right away. Right, Jake, anything you want to add to that?
No, it's not the end of the world if you lose connection for a couple moments there. So
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great question because,
yeah,
sometimes you have to make adjustments, right? Who knows? You might lose connection. Of course, if you do lose connection, you're going to need to make adjustments. And I highly recommend what I usually do, folks, is I will take and I will run the strap underwater, right? Or run water on my wrist and then put it on. These are not going to get hurt by a little bit of water. They're not going to fall apart. They're pretty resilient. And by the way, I do recommend that you wash them. You need to clean these. Okay. I have had people say, well, there's a lot of white crusty on the backside of my wrist. So that's kind of funk. We want to clean it off, right?
It's not, that's not because of the frequencies or that they were doing.
No, it's not the frequencies changing the color. It is your perspiration, your whatever from your body. So you can wash these. And the way you wash them is a pH balanced detergent, right? So most dish soaps are like a pH balance, 7.4 pH. You just don't want anything too acidic or too alkali. You don't want to use any solvents or anything like that, but just a nice light pH balanced detergent. I usually just put a little bit on my fingers, wet them down, and then just massage the backside of these guys nice and clean, and then rinse them underwater and shake them off, let them dry. I don't use a towel only because the towel material, whether a paper towel or a cloth towel, can get stuck in the loop part of the Velcro and get fuzzy. I don't use a towel. So I just shake them off or put them right on and start using them. How's that? All right,
Sounds
guys.
simple to me. I think we should all go ahead and after this call, wash our wristbands.
Clean them up, folks. I mean, think about it. If you're putting lotions and moisturizers and whether it be suntan or whatever, it gets all over these things. So you want to clean them up. All right. Let's see. So here, what do we got, Jake?
Question from Luis says, would like help with hardware. It's about MagHealy that will never properly charge up. I could only use it on the charger. Now it won't charge at all. I've tried support for help. I couldn't get assist. So for the MagHealy, if it is not charging, there's a few things that you can do. It's definitely a battery issue if it's, well, most likely a battery issue if it's working on the charger, but as soon as you take it off, that it's not working at all. But you can also try, there could be an issue with the actual charging block you use to plug it into the wall, or possibly the cable itself or the charging pad to where it's not receiving a full charge. So as soon as you Ken's holding up a couple different charging blocks here. But if you have a couple of these different ones around the house, maybe try a different one and let it charge overnight and see if that fixes it. If not, our tech support team will be very happy to help. We have live chat service from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, available on our Healy shop. You just go to our regular US Healy shop, look for the chat icon in the lower right-hand corner, and you can chat live with one of our tech support agents, like Christian, also who's on the call here. You might get him if you chat with us between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. And they'll definitely, if it's not something that can be fixed with the standard troubleshooting as far as trying a different charging block, that kind of thing, there'll be a form, a brief form to fill out. It's basically a battery troubleshooting form. And then if it needs to be replaced, if it's still under warranty, we would replace it at no cost. If it is out of warranty, you can get a replacement for your MagHealy for, I believe it's $720 right now, I believe. Christian, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat here. But it's simple to use actually. And yeah, let me just, while we're on the call, I'll just share this. This is the US Healy shop, and you see in the lower right-hand corner, Healy World America is chat with us. Even though we're outside of our normal business hours right now, this icon still shows up. There's a self-service chatbot that can answer some of your questions as well. You can go through the self-service process. You see here, click self-service, or you can actually create a support ticket through the chatbot as well without logging into your support center. But if you come back between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., you'll be able to chat directly with one of our tech support agents, and they'll be able to they'll point you in the right direction, send you the right information, and if necessary, do a replacement, whether it's a paid replacement or a free replacement if it's under warranty.
Yeah, a lot of great resources there, you guys. And the shop page is just like, it's like what it used to be on steroids now. It's like crazy. And as Jake was saying, I was holding up a couple of these different charge blocks, and it's important that just know that not all blocks are created equal. Even if it looks the same as another block, it may not have the same output. And the MagHealy is looking for a more powerful signal than the Healy itself, right?
Yeah.
The MagHealy is looking for a more powerful output. This one right here is a 2.4 amp output, or 200. It's a 2,400 milliamps, so 2.4. This is only a 1.5. So, you know, the MagHealy wants that bigger 2.4, 2.5 output as far as the milliamps. And we had, actually, it was on our last, not the last one, maybe one before. There's a little chart that shows the wattage requirements, which again, that can get confusing. We did do a little bit about that on, what was it, about 3 weeks ago on the Tech Tape Tuesday. There was some content there on basically things around wattage and amps and power requirements. But so awesome. So yes, definitely try a different charging block. I always start with that. Okay, Nancy's got one here. Says, I've been running the HealAdvisor, just playing around. For example, I ran the Chakras today. Is the idea to run a program to correct the low percentage, or does the vibrate correct things? So, so what it's giving you, whatever database you choose to do an analytics on. So you've chosen the Chakras, right? That's a database. So you have the client, you have the database as the alignment tool, and Healy builds the bridge. Okay. So if it's Chakras, then okay, great. It's giving you what chakras are in most need, and it gives you them in order of priority. So in other words, the first one it shows you is the one that is in most need, highest need, and it'll give you a percentage. Okay, and then down the line, now it's going to give you five examples, right? 5 different chakras. It's going to give you, it'll pick 5 choices from your database, and then give you them in alignment from highest need to lowest need. So certainly you can run the vibrate mode, which is going to transmit the content within that result, within that that scan result. It'll transmit the content, okay? And it's going to transmit the content to your bioenergetic field, okay? So this is through the quantum field. It's quantum entanglement with the frequencies and you, the client. But also, I always recommend doing both, right? Because it gives you these specific chakras that need to be worked on. And so you can run them right over in the Healy 2 app and run the microcurrent right into the body and get a more biological and tangible influence over the electric body. And here's the thing that's significant about the microcurrent is it is addressing cell membrane voltage. It is addressing the biology of your body. And like a battery charger, to no matter what battery you're charging, it's raising the energy in your body. So your body's like the battery, Healy's like the charger. So it's increasing the cell membrane potential voltage as well as that energy within your body. The frequencies are aligning with the chakras that it's trying to work with and amplifying their energy field. Okay, so do both. That's my advice.
Yeah, and Ken, I was typing something here, so I don't know if you covered this exact point, but one interesting part of this question, Nancy mentioned, is the idea to run a program to correct the low percentage. So as Ken mentioned, when you get the top 5 results when you come back, and you're not correcting a low percentage. The higher the percentage, the more relevant that program is for you, the more you need it. So if you say you get a program that's, I don't know, 62%, fairly high relevance for you, that's a great program to go ahead and also run in the Healy app with electrodes or that kind of thing to get the benefit of microcurrent like Ken just mentioned. But the idea here is not to see a 62% relevancy, run a program, and then come back and hope that it's at 80%. Like that's the lower the percentage, the less those programs are relevant for you at that particular time. So, which is different than if you do it. So this is if you do a resonance analysis for the Chakras program group. But if you were to do an aura scan and look at those chakras, those are looking at the energy levels there. And for that one, it's the opposite, where the lowest energy levels, you run those by default, you run the lowest 3 there in order to increase those energy levels. So we actually did on our last Healy for Beginners and Beyond, we did a comparison kind of between, because this is a question we get quite a bit, where they're completely different things, the aura scan versus doing a resonance analysis of the chakra program. So it is easy to get confused, especially if you're new to this as well. So just want to keep that in mind, that you're not trying, if you're doing a resonance analysis, you're not trying to increase those percentages.
Exactly. When we see those percentages, I mean, there's a perception that they have a meaning that's the same across the board, and it's not true. It's not true. Even with the Healy 2 app, when you're seeing the percentages under the progress bar, those are, that's a percentage. Sometimes you see a negative percentage or a positive percentage, right? Again, that's just a scale to kind of give an indication of how much your body has become resonant with that frequency. So different meanings and understanding those variations is important. So you can get the best benefit here. As Jake said, the chakra analysis, the aura analysis, when it comes up with a percentage of information, that's just, first of all, just the levels of your different chakras. It's not in the present moment, it's the levels. So from 0 to 100%, it's just a level. So that's just the analysis. And then the second phase of that is to take that analysis information from there and then move it into the assessment portion, where we're doing the actual evaluation or analytics, the scan. So the aura analysis is kind of a 2-part thing. First result is just a benign reading across the scales. Then you do an analysis on that to find out what's necessary to align it. Okay.
I just put the link into the chat here for where we discussed this on the last Healy for Beginners and Beyond, but I also wanted to share the show where that link came from. This is our Healy World America's YouTube channel, and I'm on the last Healy for Beginners and Beyond that we did on August 9th, 2024. And you'll see in the description, when you first come to the video, this is actually going to be minimized by default. If you click on the more, you'll see the different topics that we discussed, and you'll see the one that I put into the chat here is the resonance analysis for chakra programs versus aura analysis. So if you click on that timestamp, it takes you right to that segment, and you can just watch that particular one there. And then if we went back here, this is the playlist for Healy for Beginners and Beyond. We mentioned, Ken was referring earlier to the MagHealy charging tips, and that was on the month before that we did here. MagHealy charging tips, MagHealy databases. We talked about Business Suite a little bit there as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll copy this video as well and put that link into the chat. It was a good reference for any MagHealy charging questions.
Great resources, you guys. I highly recommend subscribing to the channel and then turning notifications on so you can get notifications when new episodes come out. And then going in there and just, hey, get some popcorn and sit down and watch all those. Watch the ones that you find interest in. Okay, so back to a strap question. Dory's back was saying, hey, is there any way to make the straps not irritate my skin? Again, great question. The strap is made of a high grade medical silicon conductive material, right? It is hypoallergenic, so it's not supposed to create irritations. But again, people have allergies to all kinds of things. But one of the most important things is to clean them, because as I mentioned, when we're not cleaning them, debris gets, you may not be able to see it. I used an analogy that it was like white and crusty. It may not be white and crusty. It may just be a film on there. And when you have a non-conductive or insulating film on the back of these conductive strips, it creates a barrier between the electron flow that Healy is trying to place into your body and your body itself. So it's building like a shield. And when you have a shield, and I mean, don't take this to mean anything bad, but you're trying to get electron flow to move through a barrier, right? And it can feel tingly and like pokey, right? So step one, clean these. Try it again. If that doesn't, and then if it's still doing it, clean them again, right? You're not going to hurt it. Clean them a couple of times. It's okay. And then also clean your body. Again, like I mentioned before, people using moisturizers, maybe some kind of skincare products, whatever. Clean that off so your body is more receptive. The skin cells are more receptive. And then, of course, the inside of the wrist is more sensitive in many cases. So don't be afraid to move the wristband further up on the arm somewhere. Don't be afraid to do that. Give that a test drive. Okay. So try those things, and see if that helps with those irritants. All right. Luis has got a question about the watch here, Jake. You want to talk about that one? We know the watch has changed. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so a couple months ago, I think it was April, we officially stopped selling the Healy Watch in the US and Canada, and actually in any other markets around the world, it's no longer available as well. But in the program group, the subscription is no longer available for purchase. But if you had the subscription in the past and you want to bring those programs back, we haven't gotten rid of the programs. Those are still available for anyone that has them already. And Christian just put into the chat here, he asked for your email account, because if you had it in the past, we will go ahead and add it for you again for free. You can use it for until however long it's going to be available. There's no plans to remove those programs at any time in the near future. So if you get Christian your information there, he'll be able to help you out and get that module, the watch connector module, added again. Just know it's no longer being supported. The app itself, the watch itself, that kind of thing, is no longer going to be updated or anything like that.
Great information and awesome. Thank you, Christian, for all those links, you guys, in the background. He's taking care of it. So Deb's got a question here, and I talked about this a bit a minute ago. I kind of gave you some examples, but says that some programs I'd run and it sometimes intermittently displays an error message. It's actually, I know what you're talking about here. The message that says frequency is generated, but flow something, right? We just talked about a minute ago that if you are running a microcurrent program, aka the Healy 2 app right here, the pink app, and for some reason you lose connection, right? A lead comes unhooked. The wristband is too loose moving around on your wrist. The conditions are too dry between the wristband and the skin, or the amplitude on the app is too low, right? Many conditions can do this, but the app is monitoring the actual flow in your body all the time. Why? Because for effectiveness, it wants to make sure that the application is effective and you're getting the maximum result from the moments you're spending using the app. So it's monitoring you, making sure that there's a connective flow between, in the Healy has these outputs on the backside. So look at it as a complete circuit. One wire out into your body one side, through the body, out the other side, to the other wire in. So you're like a loop, right? And your body is in the middle of that loop. So if anything in that loop gets broken or open, you'll get a message that says, still transferring or transmitting frequencies, but there's no flow or electron flow in your body, meaning that those electrons or the microcurrent going through your body is not a full complete circuit. In other words, those frequencies are coming out of the frequency generator in the Healy, but not so much through your body. Okay, so what do? Well, you start making some adjustments. You start finding out what's going on. Now, also, I want you guys to remember something, that not all frequencies need the same amount of power to get through your body. Some need more. The lower the frequency, typically below about 400 hertz, requires more energy to get through your body. It's what we would call closer to density. Density means almost zero vibration, right? So the very dense materials, such as like the chair you're sitting in, or tangible materials, or a rock is a very dense material, right? In other words, its frequency is very, very slow, very low frequency. So the lower the frequencies that Healy is trying to administer into your body, the more power it may need. So what you do is you keep an eye on the program. And when you watch, remember I said it earlier, every 10 seconds, the frequency is going to change. So when the frequency changes, and maybe you get that message, it says frequencies are being transmitted, but no current flows through the system. Okay. And that's a low frequency. Say it's 325 hertz, something below 400, right? You need to increase the amplitude with the plus and minus button at the bottom of the program there, so that you can get that current flow. Now, there's a balance here, folks, between up in the amplitude and feeling discomfort, right? Any kind of sensation, right, in the body. When the moment that you get some kind of tingly feeling, your mind goes, oh no, what's going on? We don't want that, because Healy is operating on the subconscious at the cell level. And we don't want the mind to be interfering by thinking, is this good? Is this bad? I don't like this. I do like this. All this analytics. We don't want that. So the idea is to increase the current flow with the plus and minus, the amplitude, just to where you can feel it, and then back it off one click, right? Just back it off 0.5 percentage there, and then see how that goes. Remember, it's going to change the next frequency every 10 seconds. So you want to make those adjustments during the duration of the time that the frequency is being transmitted, in which you're getting that quote unquote error message. Okay. So it's not an error. It's information given into you about the functionality of that program. It's a great thing. It's good feedback. All right. Hopefully that helps you.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet, Ken, like you said, if she is watching the frequency changing as it's going through it, when she mentions intermittently, I bet you it's when it's dropping down to a lower frequency, and then it switches to a higher one and the message goes away. So yeah, it's very interesting to watch the frequencies change, especially if you're having that particular issue.
It's just us getting to know our Healy, right? It's getting to know our Healy, getting to know our body. Yeah, it's a great dance.
Yeah. Ken, this next question, Christian put the link into the chat here, and I put a link to a video. So I think we got it covered, but I think it's worth just showing just quickly here how exactly it works. But the question was, will you show me or remind me where to find the form to use to transfer Healy? So yeah, in the last couple of months, actually just the last month or two, this process has gotten a lot easier to do. Before, you would have to log into your support center, submit a support ticket with a bunch of different information for the particular user. Then it would take, a day or two to get this transfer completed. Now, let me just share my screen. I'm going to go back to Healy Shop, which is where we were earlier when we were showing the live chat widget, which is down in the bottom right-hand corner. But this time we're going to go, if you're logged in, you click on your name here at the top, you'll see the little menu that pops up, and we're going to go to device transfer. So this is where you go if you want to transfer a device to anybody here at Healy World, and then it takes a couple seconds to load, and you'll see here basically all your Healy devices that are transferable, which would be any device pretty much that does not have an active subscription. If you have an active subscription on your device, it won't show up here. But if you don't, when you pick the device you want to transfer, I have a lot of devices on my account. You would pick one of those. Let's just pick this one. And then you put in the 12-digit ID of the person you're transferring it to. So the person you're transferring it to has to have a Healy account. So if it's somebody new, maybe someone in your family or a friend that doesn't have a Healy account yet, the first thing they're going to want to do is go down to at the bottom here, all the way. You give them your referral link, which you find in your back office in the tools section. There's a referral link section. Give them that link. They click on that link, go to this page, scroll down to the bottom, and then they click on sign up. So underneath company here at the bottom, if they click on sign up, it takes them to a page where they can create either a Healy World member account or Healy World customer account. Right now, there's no charge for either. They pick which one they want. They don't have to buy anything in order to create that account. So they just go through the process, set it up, and then once they create that account, they'll have their own 12-digit ID, and then you would go back to this section. They give you their 12-digit ID. You type that 12-digit ID in here, and you'll see if you don't know what your 12-digit ID is, if you log into shop and go to this page, it tells you what your ID is too. So if say someone else wanted to transfer one to you, you forgot what your 12-digit ID is, log into shop, go to device transfer, there it is right there. But pick the device you want to transfer, put in their 12-digit ID, check the box here, and then start the transfer. So after you do that, it's done on your side, but the person you're transferring it to does the same thing, but they log into their shop, they go to the device transfer section, and there would be a pending transfer when they log in, and they just have to basically accept the transfer. Then it's done. It's very easy to do. No form to fill out or anything like that. You can do it yourself. You don't have to contact anybody from our support team in order to do this.
How convenient is that?
Yeah.
Super convenient. That's awesome. Good. Thank you, Jake.
Sure.
Okay. Let's see. Ooh, here's a good one. Well, okay, so Dory's asking, here's one. Well, will the Classic and McMakin programs do anything for you in the room without being next to your body? So, I mean, do anything to you is a great question. It's transmitting magnetic energy. Okay. When we're optimizing anything, for instance, let's optimize your car. You jump in your car, you start the engine, you put it in drive, and you go. It's mainly designed to drive on a road. If you were to, say, go underwater with it, it may not be optimized, right? It may not work so great. So the McMakin programs are optimized when you place the device where the app is telling you to. Okay? Optimized. We want to make sure we understand when you're using something the way it's directed, it's going to be optimized. It's going to be doing its most effective work the way that it's pointed to you in which to do it. It doesn't mean that it's not doing something when it's not that way. So we know that magnetic waves, once created, move omnidirectionally infinitely, forever. But the amplitude of those waves diminish quite a bit as they move away from their epicenter or their creation, their point of creation. The amplitude lowers. So this is the reason why the app is telling you to put the MagHealy using certain programs in a certain spot on your body. That's why. That's why. So that the epicenter of the transmission is right localized where it's designed to have the most impact. Okay? All right. Now, that being said, doesn't mean it's not doing anything across the room. It's just not doing everything.
Yeah, it could be doing more if it was used, the way it's indicated there. And of course, that's why there is a separate atmosphere application with those 24 programs. Because those are designed specifically for for being in the room but not on you. So,
Being, yep,
yeah,
influencing the environment.
yeah,
Uh, yep.
yeah.
Okay.
We got some feedback here, Ken, from the topic we were discussing earlier about the chakras. Um, Again, person Nancy's new, but she assumed that the heart chakra being 30% was a negative thing, but no.
no, no.
uh,
Yeah, no, it's not. It's good that you now you see the relevance there. The heart chakra, if it's asking you to run the heart chakra program and it's only 30%, where you have, say, another one that's 80%, the heart chakra is stronger, meaning the heart chakra is stronger in that case, needing less attention, right? So, all right. Ooh, Tara's got a good one here. See that one? Okay. Question for clarification. Here we go. Ready for some quantum physics. So the question is, the blue app and quantum sensor use scalar wave and uses quantum entanglement. And the pink app uses magnetic waves and delivers the frequencies and information that way. Is this right? Okay. So we do have these two unique apps do interface in two very different arenas. When it comes to the blue app, aka the HealAdvisor Analyse 2, that's our app name, it does work with quantum entanglement. It takes a client, right? Because you have to put a client in. Now remember, the client can be a person, an animal, a plant, a car, a place, whatever. The client just needs to be a targeted position in the universe. And there's information needed to be placed in the client record based on what the client is, right? If it's a plant, it's going to ask different questions than if it's a person. So anyway, now you've got the client established. You've recorded the vibration of that client. Now there's an established what I would call a UPS, a universal positioning sensor, right? It's where this entity is in the entire universe. Then the other side of the equation, as I mentioned before, is the database you're choosing to use for alignment of this client. Doesn't matter if it's the Healy programs or if it's Bachflower or if it's the MagHealy programs, doesn't matter. It's a database. So now you have one part of the equation, which is the client, the other part of the equation, which is the database, and the circuitry, what's called a random noise generator, uses consciousness, right? Not the quantum sensor word, uses a quantum entanglement, a bridge within this random generator that essentially reads consciousness. It has influence based on the consciousness of the information of the person. Okay, now that alignment is made and it creates a best case 5 entities within that database. Now you've got your alignment tools. Okay, that's all done non-local. That's all done whether the client is you right there in that present moment or across the world. This is quantum entanglement. And then when there is vibration sent, now we need to look at scalar wave. What does that mean? Scalar wave is a technology that moves, or let's call it an understanding of a wave that moves faster than the speed of light. It also has zero frequency. It is, of course, non-local, so that, yeah, we're working non-local. But the thing about scalar wave is that it is not all of what Healy does. Okay, not the same, not exactly the same. It's a bit different. So what Healy's sending does have frequency. It does orbit within the speed of light, but also within quantum entanglement that is faster than that. Okay, so again, more complexity, but if you just understand that the The noise generator or the analytical engine within Healy is using consciousness as a mechanism for entanglement. And then when it's transmitting non-local, a frequency that is within that, again, quantum entanglement technology. All right. When we go to the pink app is more tangible. It uses magnetic waves to interface with the body and microcurrent to interface with the body. It has no client. It does not have a client. There's no universal positioning mechanism. It's only attached to a client based on the fact it's connected to you or it's in your proximity. So when you're running a Healy in the pink app, it's running essentially benign, benign or just to anyone. So there's no particular client that it's attached to. When you're using the Healy and you're running a program in the microcurrent and you're connected to it, your body is getting the information, your body's getting the energy, and it's sending us a magnetic wave out of the Healy itself. So if you got somebody sitting on your lap, there's going to be an influence there. If you're using the coil and there's somebody in your proximity, again, like a 3-foot bubble, if that's in that proximity, they're going to get influence too. It's not necessarily looking at just you. Okay. So I know that may have generated some more questions, but just understand one is client oriented and only client oriented, and the other is proximity or physical oriented. Pink app is physical, blue app is non-physical. Okay. We did do some stuff on quantum entanglement on a Healy for Beginners and Beyond. That was another great episode you guys could check out.
Yeah, if you go back to the YouTube channel we were at before and go to the Healy for Beginners and Beyond section, you'll see in the description or the titles for some of those mentions of the Analyze app, trending topics, quantum entanglement, that kind of thing.
Yep. Okay.
Susan had a question about how the ticket works, and Christian already put a ton of great information already in there. So thank you so much, Christian. But he used the chat room yesterday to had a question that ended up it was complicated and being unresolved. I have to speak to a person and got a ticket in my email. So it sounds like it was maybe done after hours and she was using the chat bot, which then created a ticket on her behalf. So when that does happen, usually the next business day, someone will reach back out to her to assist. But yeah, if you want to definitely speak to a person or chat with somebody live, go between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, and you'll be able to connect with somebody there. And as Christian mentioned in the chat, if it's a complicated troubleshooting issue with your device that we can't fix via that chat session, we'll send you a link to book a 30-minute Zoom call with one of our tech support agents, and we can do some more in-depth troubleshooting there. So.
It's a very, very useful tool, you guys. And doing it during business hours gets you a live person to interact with. So, yeah, you'll get your issue resolved. That's for sure. Okay, so Carrie's got a question here about a recommendation. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, we can't really give recommendations on physical aspects or things, but here's the question. It's like, I like to get recommendations for the pink Healy app, atmosphere, MagHealy or blue Healy app projection to get rid of dark attachments. Okay. So again, we can't really give any advice there, but we do have the HealAdvisor. You see over my shoulder here, the HealAdvisor app. So this app right here, the HealAdvisor app, the one with the wavy lines, right here. Make sure you have that on your smart device and go in there, log in, and go to the HealAdvisor search. There's a search window up there, and you can place things in there like what that those words, dark attachment. What does that mean? What does that mean? Put those words in there and see what kind of results come out. And you'll see that it gives a lot of great content. It's going to basically give you a name of a group, and you click on the group and it'll open up and show you some Healy 2 programs to run. Okay. Great resource. Please try that out for us and see what comes out of it for you.
And would you also recommend maybe doing an aura analysis or the coaching module analysis for this type of thing? Or would you, there could be some information that pops up that, you know, related to this particular topic she's.
Yeah, if you're looking at, if you're trying to do any analysis on yourself, right? Typically what happens is we get in the way, our mind gets in the way, and we start thinking, especially when you, I mean, already defining something like that 2 words, dark attachment, you know, we place meaning on that. So we use the HealAdvisor Analyze app, and we just do an analytics in any database, I mean, yes, you can use it within the aura analysis and take a look at what's going on, because the aura analysis does give some content that goes all the way back to ancestral things.
Yeah.
Yep. It gives you, and there's a chart, by the way. Is that chart in our academy?
It is,
Was it
no, the full chart is not in there. We did show a little bit about this on the last Healy for Beginners and Beyond, you know, back to the YouTube channel. In the Analyze apps topics that we were discussing, we talked about interpreting the potencies there too. So we talked a little bit more in depth on that as well. But as far as, you know, subconscious versus conscious, foreground, background, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so when you do an aura analysis, it does give you some information. And when you click on the meaning, you know, so there's a percentage, and there's some numbers and letters, and you can click on that. It kind of expands out and kind of talks about the meaning of that. So within the app, this is all within the app. So great tools there. I suggest that you know, move around and tap on certain numbers and things in there, because they have expanded windows that give you content behind the scenes. But yes, getting rid of things, first of all, we need to know what's going on. And the HealAdvisor search gives content, which is over here. The blue app, which is over here, gives content. The MagHealy meridians evaluations, when you're doing some things, that gives you some content. Anytime you're doing an analysis with Healy, doesn't matter what database you choose, it's going to give you alignment tools within that database, within that bandwidth. And you can choose different databases to get different content and then see what resonates with you. All right, definitely give those things a try, Carrie.
I think this question from Tara was related to what we were discussing before, as far as the client, because if you don't choose a client, then it's you that's the client. So, I mean, in the Analyze app, to do an analysis, you have to choose. If you're not in the client section and you're doing analysis, by default, it goes, when you open that, we go to the me section, which is you. So yes, you would, if you're not specifically going to the client section and picking somebody, if you were to do analysis, it would be based off you there.
Mm-hmm. Right, and I'm assuming you are talking about the blue dot, the HealAdvisor Analyze.
I would assume so. Yeah, since you know you can't pick one in the Healy.
In the Healy 2 app, you're not picking a client. Why? Because whatever it's attached to or in proximity of is the client.
Yeah.
Right. So this is why it's super cool. You can actually clip them onto the collar of your pet. I've done that. I mean, you know, I put the coil on it, clip it onto the collar of your pet, or put it in the planter for the plant you're working with. Right. I mean, it's sending information. Okay. Look, Carrie kind of makes this follow-up statement, power of 3 or the defense support. So those are questions, again, those are questions to if you're looking at those, put the content within the HealAdvisor search, and it's going to find results for you. We can't really recommend.
Mhm.
Okay. Dory's got one about, is there a way to set up a protocol with the suggestions from the Wavy app? Yeah, you can actually add those to various lists and things. We've done some.
Yeah, I mean, officially in the app, you'll see there's an IMF schedule option or IMF calendar that you can create. So if you do a search, you can pick the results and you can do a create IMF schedule, IMF calendar, and then from there it's not going to run the program for you each day, but you can set up reminders to, hey, Dory, it's time to run your morning program or time to run your afternoon program. And then you would then go into the app to start the program itself.
Yep. It's a great service. I mean, it just
Yeah.
gives you reminders. Of course, you have to have your reminders turned on for the app.
Yeah. Yeah, again, we have done some trainings on that as well. Some of the Tech Tip Tuesdays and Healy for Beginners and Beyond. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to find them if you search within the Healy World America's YouTube channel.
Love it. Okay. So Dory's asking, what is holding your Healy, Ken? By the way, Healy just came out with some really cool tethers. This is something that was kind of created aftermarket. Yeah, so I got this cool necklace a while back, and that's what I've used. It's just my decoration.
Yeah.
Now are the lanyards in the back office yet, or in the shop page yet?
No, they're actually not. So we sent out some special edition ones, different from the one Ken has, that were part of a promo we did in July. So we have some couple limited edition ones too, but that's at this point that's it. So
Stay tuned. Healy's always
yeah,
evolving, guys, so you never know what's coming.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else we got, you guys. Hopefully you're getting some answers here.
So I will give a sneak peek. So for those of you, well, we've mentioned Healy for Beginners and Beyond a few times on the call today, but the next one is going to be September 23rd, Monday. Well, I think this might be the first time we've done a Healy for Beginners and Beyond on a Monday, but we are going to have a very special guest. Martin Whitman, our Chief Product Officer, is going to be doing a training specifically on the Bach flower remedies database. So anyone familiar with Bach flowers or not familiar at all with Bach flowers that wants to learn a little bit more about how that's used within the Analyze app, it's one of the great databases that we have available. He's going to be doing a training for us. So to register for that call, for those of you that aren't already registered, you go to HealyFBB.com. I'll put the link into the chat. But yeah, definitely would like everyone to join us for that. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll actually let me share my screen. Okay, so all right, let me share my screen again to show two different things. Okay, so this is, if you go to HealyFBB.com, that will take you to this registration page and you'll see the next few lined up here, but the next one, September 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern, you just put in your name, email address, register, and then you'll get a link to join the meeting, and you just click on that link. on September 23rd. Also, great reference here, the HealyAmericasEvents.com. This is our events calendar. So whether you want to join Tech Tip Tuesday, Frequencies and Friends, any of our meetings, you'll see here, Healy for Beginners and Beyond on September 23rd. The link to register is here as well. So this is the place to go for links, information, what's coming up as well. So definitely save this link, HealyAmericasEvents.com. This is a great resource also.
Awesome. That's some great stuff. Let's see. I think Dory was asking, Ken, the black thing you're using, is that available? Are you talking about Jake's black thing he's using? That's the Obsidian edition that Jake has clipped to his shirt. That is Healy Obsidian, which is
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing holding my Healy. This is just the Obsidian edition that came out recently. Maybe, I don't know if he's talking about, if that looks black on the screen, possibly.
Yeah, so she might be asking about, no, the black thing that's holding my Healy. So this essentially is it's a laser printed plastic holder. It's an aftermarket thing that I did not create, but I obtained. So yeah, completely different. Okay. I think we're caught up, Jake. Make sure you guys, save the date for the Healy for Beginners and Beyond. It's going to be really great. Martin's, he's a wealth of information. He's definitely right there hand in hand with Marcus. So it'd be a great episode.
Yeah, and no, what's up Wednesday tomorrow? So we're skipping this tomorrow, this week. But the following week on, I believe it's what's next? The 18th, we're going to have a training with Kai Schulmeyer, product marketing specialist. He's going to be doing a training on natural cycle on What's Up Wednesday. So don't want to miss that. Got a lot of cool trainings coming up. So next Wednesday, the 18th, natural cycle training with Kai. Then we have Monday, September 23rd, Healy for Beginners and Beyond with Martin Whitman doing the training on the Bach flower remedies database. And then the 24th of September, we have the next Healy Horizon. The 26th of September, we have the next Resonance podcast. So there's lots of great product training coming up for the remainder of this month.
Don't miss a single thing. Connect to that, connect to the calendar, and you'll have all the things you need. Right, you'll see what's coming up. Okay, so last minute lightning round. Anybody? Oh, by the way, folks, if you want to save the links and the content from the chat, there are 3 little dots in your chat window, 3 little dots. Click on those. It'll give you an option to save chat after this call. And then you can, when you get off this call, there'll be a message up on your screen that says save chat. All right. And you'll have all those links. All right, you guys, I think we're done.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Christian, thank you so much for all your help in the background there. Folks, thank you for being here. And if you found value, please invite someone next time and guide them here so we can help them as well. Thank you, Jake, very much. Appreciate your help and knowledge.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. We'll see you all next week. Quickly save the chat.